I think the period that we've seen since the pandemic in the rental market really is it's definitely the toughest rental market we've seen since 2007, 2008. And given how long the rental market's been very difficult, I think it's probably worse than that episode. So it's the worst rental market conditions I think that we've seen in at least 20, 25 years. And it comes off the back of really quite a big shift in how people are choosing to live in their homes. That's kind of the fundamental change here. We saw a lot more people looking for lifestyle change, looking for sea change and tree change off the back of the pandemic. And that led almost overnight to a rapid increase in demand, particularly in regional areas. That has meant that we've had now 4 to 5 years of really rapid rent growth in the regions, which still continues to this day. We saw regional rents increase 10% over 2024. And that then spread to smaller capitals, people looking for affordability in Adelaide, Brisbane, and now increasingly Perth. We're still seeing the effects of those style shifts following the pandemic. So really, part of this has also been a push for space. People have been wanting more space for home offices, bigger gardens, people spending more time in their homes. That's put a lot of pressure on the existing dwelling stock at a time when it's actually been quite difficult to build homes. Now, despite the amount of government support that we saw during the pandemic to build homes through home build and build fundamentally as many homes as we were building before the pandemic. So this big increase in demand, and demand mostly from how much housing each household is wanting, led to really this big mismatch between demand and supply. And I think that's been very evident in the rental market over the past 4 or 5 years. And we're seeing an easing now due to a number of factors. We're seeing investors kind of responding to higher rents and purchasing more homes and making them available on the rental market. We're seeing a lot more people just simply priced out of the current rental market and choosing to either share or stay at home for longer. And so we're getting some relief on both the demand and supply sides. But in terms of where the rental market is now compared to where the rental market was before the pandemic, there's still a big gulf there. We had actually a really quite balanced position of the rental market before the pandemic. We saw almost no rental growth in kind of the 3 or 4 years leading into the pandemic. So we're not likely to get back to that position. But over the coming period, we're likely to see slower rent growth, which is really much needed. We've had now close to 5 years of rents growing faster than incomes. That on top of generalized price inflation and high interest rates is really constraining a lot of people's budgets. So we're looking forward to a period where rents aren't continuing to take up a larger and larger share of people's budgets.